There's a link between loneliness and single Christian church folk. Nonprofit Communion is behind the new study. They say the single Christians in their 30s are 3 times more likely to feel lonely. And that's not all. They say churches are not doing enough to encourage those churchgoers to get married and have families. Pastor Dr. Ruth Olison is back with us for this conversation, along with Pastor Alan Patterson. Thank you guys for having us here on The Factor Uncensored. In reading that introduction, part of the problem may be if this study is saying you need to encourage these people to get married because they're going to be lonely and by themselves if they're lonely and if they're single. Your thoughts on the direction that the whole study is going?
Marriage doesn't solve loneliness.
Right.
All right. You
can be in a room full of people and be by your damn self.
And very lonely.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is not necessarily the solution. Loneliness is an issue for a lot of people, and I think that people need to be okay with themselves. They need to be, as the young people say now, be 100 with yourself first. Because there's nothing worse than 2 broken people going to the relationship thinking that they're going to help each other.
And a bad case of codependency.
It ain't going to happen. So be okay with yourself, and you won't be lonely. All right. And then if you need someone to talk to, you know, call the pastor over here and go hit some golf balls or whatever and all that. But you know, another person will not solve your loneliness.
Pastor Alan Lamar Patterson, what do you tell someone in your congregation if they come to you and say, look, I'm in my 30s, I'm lonely, what do I do? Do you immediately say you need to get married, or do you say, you know, take a look at yourself? Why are you unhappy? I'm not guiding you or anything.
Right. I think it's really more so looking to see why are they lonely and why are they single. A lot of this has to do with where we are as a culture and where we are in society. My father, Alois Patterson Jr., he used to say prophetically, what is not protected in one generation will be neglected in the next generation and then rejected in the following generation. Well, in his generation, it wasn't protected. The home, a mother and a father, 2-parent household. And then part of that has to do with, well, what happened? 1935, President Roosevelt, he enacts, through the Social Security Act, the welfare state. Part of that welfare state included no man in the house. That was a division in the family. 1942, Planned Parenthood comes along. Planned Parenthood has to do with abortion and other sexual rights. Well, that caused subtraction in the home. That kids should have been coming forth, subtracted. So there are different variables in society why people are alone now and why they're also lonely. Because in Genesis 1:27-28 says we were created as mankind by God. He created us. And then he says in the next verse, be fruitful and multiply. So no one should be lonely if you're based in the Word of God. So he says be fruitful and multiply. What's happening now is that there's not enough multiplication. There's too much division, too much subtraction, and then we've added too much to the Word of God. So that brings us to where we are in my generation. We've neglected what wasn't protected in my parents' generation. And so also now you're dealing with the fact, in my generation, you went from when we arrived here on the slave ships, we went from the plantation to adjudication, all the way to legislation to mass incarceration. So now you have many young men who are incarcerated and have left many women at home alone. Now it's rejected in my son's generation. That's why the percentages are where they are.
Out of time, sorry guys, appreciate it. See, the devil is busy, take it away. Christianity's time. Dr. Ruth, I swear for Allah. Still